Maybe you're listening to this at 2 in the morning, in a quiet room, after another day that felt like total defeat. You look around at your life and you see a war. But not every war is the same. Some men fight for comfort. Some men fight for status. Some men fight battles so small they'll be forgotten by next week. But you were handed something different, something heavier, something that bends the spine, cracks the ribs, and makes you question whether God even remembers your name. He remembers. He remembers because he's the one who assigned the war. And God does not send his darkest soldier to easy wars. He sends him to the ones no one else can win. You need to hear this, because you've been looking at your life and calling it punishment. You've been staring at the wreckage, the broken relationships, the failed plans. The nights that stretched so long you forgot what morning tasted like. And you've been asking why you? Why always you? Why do the people around you seem to float through life on still water, while you've been drowning in open ocean since the day you opened your eyes? But drowning was the training. The ocean was the classroom, and God wasn't watching you sink. He was watching you learn to breathe underwater. Stop. Ride that again in your own life. The greatest mistake broken men make is believing suffering automatically creates strength. It doesn't. Suffering on its own can just leave you bitter, hollow, and exhausted. Pain only creates strength when you decide. The trauma will become discipline instead of your identity. The man who walks into fire and the man who walks out are never the same person. Something has to burn away. The need for approval, gone. The need to be understood, ash. The fear of being alone, of being rejected, of being forgotten. All of it turned to smoke somewhere between the third and fourth time. Life put you on your back and the world stepped over you like you were already dead. What's left doesn't beg. What's left doesn't flinch when the ground shakes. Think about a sword. A sword isn't actually dangerous while it's sitting inside the furnace. It's just red hot, soft, vulnerable metal. It only becomes dangerous after it leaves the heat, gets plunged into the ice, and sharpens its edge. You have spent years inside the furnace, complaining about the heat, but you are finally leaving the fire. What's left of you is a man stripped down to something so raw, so ancient, so close to the bone that there's nothing soft enough left to wound. You can't hurt a man who has already bled out everything he was afraid to lose. And that man, that version of you, is the one God needed, not the polished version, not the hopeful version. God needed the version that crawled out of the grave with dirt still in his lungs, fury in his blood, and a faith so beaten and scarred that it doesn't look like faith anymore. It looks like war. But here is the part nobody tells you. The season of breaking is over. The chapter of being ignored, overlooked, and underestimated closed the exact moment you stopped needing anyone to believe in you, except the one who built you. When that shift happened, something moved in the unseen. You felt it. Maybe you couldn't name it, but you felt the atmosphere around your life shift. People started reacting to you differently. Not because you changed your words, because you changed your weight. There is a gravity to a man who has been through the deepest training and come out breathing. But do not misunderstand this shift. God didn't bring you through all of that just so you could finally sit down and rest. He brought you through it so you could finally stand in the place you were made for, the war he assigned you. The real one that has been waiting while you were being built is here now, and it is not small. It will cost you things comfort never asked for. It will isolate you further, not because you are being punished again, but because the mission requires a man who can operate completely alone, a man who can make decisions in total darkness, a man who doesn't need a crowd to confirm what his spirit already knows. Remember, the war is not against the people who hurt you. They were just sparring partners. The real war is against the lie that your pain has disqualified your future. Every wound gave you a skill the future requires. Every betrayal taught you a discernment no book could ever teach. You are not damaged, you are equipped. The world sees the scars. Heaven sees the assignment. Walk.